Hey, what's up guys, it's Offbeat here and welcome to the first episode of my brand new video and podcast series Talking Shop, where I'm going to be speaking to creative people and finding out how they've turned their passion into a living. My first guest is Mike from the legendary electro swing crew Dutty Moonshine, and we cover all sorts of really interesting topics ranging from how they got started to finding the right manager, an agent and even record label, and some really good tips as well for any aspiring musicians out there who want to get started but aren't sure where to begin. This video is just the highlights. The full conversation is over an hour long, and if you want to hear that, you can check it out as a podcast over at my website at iamoffbeat.com/talking shop. Now, this is the first time I've done one of these, so it's not perfect. We filmed it in a pub, so there is a little bit of background noise at times. I'm sorry about that, but please bear with it, and I promise that future interviews will be recorded in quieter places. And the language is also pretty not safe for work from the get-go as well, so if you're easily offended, this one might not be for you. But other than that, sit back, relax, and I hope you enjoyed this first episode of Talking Shop with Mike from Dutty Moonshine. Mike, thanks very much for doing this interview.
That's right,
being the first official guest on my new feature.
Blah, 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 blah.
Of interviews, yeah, wicked. So for anyone who doesn't know, can you maybe explain a little bit about Dutty Moonshine and who or what it is?
Dutty Moonshine is technically, I suppose, electro swing if you use as like an umbrella genre. Like if you had to classify Dutty Moonshine, you'd put it as electro swing. I don't really like that sort of branding because it's so much more than what electro swing is sort of known as. Dutty Moonshine is like, think of it like eclectic multi-genre music that uses a theme of 1930s swing and jazz throughout. So that sort of like ties the theme of all the other mashups and songs together.
And in terms of like the setup, is it how many people are involved? Is it?
Well, yeah, okay. So as it stands at the moment, like I mean, I'm the core member, but there's all sorts of people that they work with. Originally, there was two members, me and Furley. Then it was me, Furley, and Danny. Then Furley left. Then Danny left. But then before Danny left, we started a big band as well. So there's all sorts of vocalists. There's an engineer now that I work with as well who also DJs, so sometimes like on big shows I'll get involved. So you can think of like me as Dutty Moonshine, but then there's a bazillion different accentuations of it.
If we just go into the background a little bit then, like how did Dutty Moonshine get started in the first place?
I used to be part of a crew called the DJC, the Disc Jockey Circus, and there was five of us, and then we eventually all split up and did our own separate things. And when I went solo from it, what I took from it was it was a multi-genre mashup sort of DJ thing of just different music, but we used to do this like mess around with like gypsy and swing samples and do all these crazy cool, like I don't know, like live mashups of it. Yeah. And I thought that was like a really good winner, so I thought to try and take that further, and I tried messing around on my own solo. But then I met Furley, who was supporting Sub Focus at a show, and he did this whole kind of style that I'd envisaged. Right. And I was like, oh my god! Like when I spoke to him, and we worked at the same bar as well. And I cut to him, I was like, cool man, that's such a sick sound, like, I've been messing around with this, messing around with that. And so we got chatting, and then literally within a couple of weeks we formed a duet.
Well, I remember when we first met and we were talking about gigs, and you said that very shortly after you started Dutty Moonshine, you went to Poland or something.
Yeah.
Well, what was the story behind that?
But yeah, me and Furley, we knocked out two 10-minute promo mixes, mini mixes. One we called Swing House, one was Swing Hop, so it was based on hip hop, one was based on house. And out of that, just some Polish promoter was like, this is amazing, like, can you come play and do whatever? We were supposed to do Krakow and Warsaw, but Warsaw flooded a few weeks beforehand. Right. I remember there was some mega flood, so we had to cancel the Warsaw show. But we ended up picking up a second show in Krakow. Yeah. So yeah, we did two shows in Krakow. And we'd only been together for like a couple of months or something like that. But there was so slim pickings around then that promoters were like, God, we weren't short on work, that's it.
Oh, you mentioned the big band earlier. Like, I want to talk more about the kind of the marketing and the business side, like later on in the interview. But like, can you tell us a little bit about the big band?
I always felt like the big band was the way forwards. I've always like when I first started this, I always like because I didn't know what electro swing was when it started, and I had this idea of what you would do with modern day times and remixing swing. And then even when when I found out electro swing term and then got to meet the artists, I've always over the years felt like it needs to be something more. And I thought a big band was a good way to go forward. So obviously you could just do a live thing, but like when Dutty was ready to start thinking about live stuff, like there was already a few other bands out there and stuff. It was like, oh, well, we'd just be competing with them, and they're pretty good. We'd have to have something unique. So I always thought big band, do the big band, do the old school Benny Goodman, Glenn Miller, Louis Armstrong style days, because it's just impressive and it's awesome and stuff. And so I had this idea a few years ago, and Furley, original Dutty member, was just like, no. He was very clever. He foresaw the workload and was like, no, fucking, it's ridiculous, Michael, not yet. But then when he left, I was like, nah, fuck you. I can do it now. And Danny was more keen on the idea and stuff. So we did we had a crack at it, starting a big band. So we recruited the brass and drums come from a solid section already. They're already an existing brass band.
Yeah, and what was that band?
It's Temple Funk Collective. And then we recruited a couple of vocalists. One was Maria Lavu, who we spotted in a hip hop crew from Oxford. So there was this massive cypher with like 6 MCs. And we saw Maria, and we were just like, boom, she's a bad man. And then we've got a male vocalist. We've recruited hype man Sage, who's just some fucking bad man, grime, London, Shankerman, Dan Daily, Blood style MCs, absolute uber cool, like excellent stage presence, stuff like that. But I'd also seen him dabble in a bit of electro swing, him busting his style of lyrics over it. We've since added Martin Badder, who's a pianist from a band called The Swingers, or Swingers Noir. Shit, man, I'm sorry, I always get that wrong. One's the name of the night, one's the name of the band.
Wicked. So how many members in total now then?
14 of us now.
Wow.
14, yeah. For me, the big band is the future for me. It's like, to reiterate my point earlier about, swing was never doing what it wants. What electro swing was never doing what I felt it should be doing. For me, this big band will do that. Yeah. It will, whether it's messing around with like key changes and polyrhythms and just everything, different arrangements, different time signatures, different everything. And I feel it's lost in electro swing, and that's what the big band. So for me, this big band, while it gives me a headache, and I fucking hate it, but I love it. Yeah. For me, it's the future. For me, it's everything for Dutty. It will be the future for Dutty Moonshine. Is the band is the focus.
Dutty Moonshine. You people of the night, I know you hear me. Put your hands up in the air if you can feel these swing vibes. Swing around and move into the beat time. We'll keep this party going till the morning bells chime.
I mean, we've talked a lot about other stuff already, which is really interesting. But like, I quite want the focus of these interviews to be about the business side.
I'll try.
And about and about how people have managed to turn their passion into a living, basically.
Okay.
So I guess probably the first question is: at what point did you realise that you were capable of doing that? That you were able to
Start Dutty was the first time. I DJ'd for many years before under different pseudonyms, solo acts, and this disc jockey circus thing. I was never under the false pretense that it was going to get me big. I had a backup career and all that sort of stuff. It was a laugh. But the start of Dutty, how quickly people got excited about the sound we were doing and the bookings that were flying in, and the fact that we got taken to Poland. And the first summer we were playing in Glastonbury, and it was the hub stage, so it's now the hell stage. So it was the main stage at that time. It was huge, and so because of that, kind of made me go, oh shit, I think this is a winner. Actually, this is that break. This is that chance. Yeah. So I think that was the point.
It's really interesting to chat to you and see in retrospect how you've done it, because you've obviously started with the DJ stuff. And then you've got these bookings and decided like, right, okay, we can like make a living on this, and got those bookings through sending out those promo mixes and stuff. What was in order to get that coverage on like radio and interviews and stuff like that, did you have to sign a track to a label in order to get that, or like how do you go about releasing a track?
Well, we could
officially?
We weren't very. Well, it might not be savvy, it might be just like limitation on how you release. Like, I know it was really difficult to release on official channels like iTunes and shit like that, but back then Bandcamp, as far as I'm aware, didn't exist, so it was really difficult to self-release something. Yeah. So we gave away free downloads just on SoundCloud, but then releasing it, we released an EP called Rawchestra Volume 1. Yeah. We released it with Chin Chin, which were like Wagram's sort of competition back then. We knew Wagram wouldn't take us because the whole Caravan Palace thing, so we saw Chin Chin as a viable option. And we released through them just to get just to get some fucking coverage, just to have an excuse, like something to do, something. It gives you a platform to shout out about,
And so, how did you get that connection with them in the first place? Did you approach them, or did they approach you, or did you
get that? We had a manager called Mickey originally. It was a sort of friends of friends, part of the same scene and all that stuff in Reading, and he picked us up part-time help managers because he wanted to get into sort of management, and we needed someone to help managers. And he, I think we gave him a short list of record labels, and I think he just approached them, blanket emails, and sent over the 4 songs. Yeah. And then they were like, yeah, we love it, we'll sign it.
Right. That flows very nicely actually into the next question I have, because like I'm, as someone who's trying to like make it in music, like I appreciate the importance of like a manager and an agent and all these different people as part of your team, but I haven't got any of them yet. So like, how important do you think they are early on, and what is the best way to attract those people and the right people?
So I think my advice to any actors, if you want to go that route, if you are getting to a point now where you're getting confused and you're starting to like, oh shit, there's quite a lot and you're feeling overwhelmed, that's not a healthy environment for your creative brain. Is find a friend who's good at that, whether they've done management at artist management or A&R at university or something like that, or they just bang on it and they know the music scene and they're an organised kind of guy and they're happy to take a 15% cut of your. It might not be mega bucks, they might only be getting like 50 quid a week and stuff, but for a few hours a week, for them to just make sure you're organised is, I think, a really good way to go forwards. If you signed up to like a record label or an agent, they might have a manager in house that will look after you, or the agent will double up as a manager. And that is a little bit more of a leap. To leap towards getting an agent who puts you on their books, they're either going to be a very small agency, and is it better for you to just organise it yourself, or are they likely to get you more work? That's the judgment you have to call by looking at the rest of their roster.
Right.
But I think getting a manager early on is probably a good thing. Once you get to a point when it's getting a bit overwhelming, I think is the time you should start thinking about having, whether it's you approach a label, you get an organised friend. Don't get anyone scatty, don't get anyone useless, just don't do it. And don't sign contracts at that state as well. You don't want to end up signing some stupid contract with somebody for 3 years and then you're fucked because let's say someone bigger wants to pick you up. Yeah. And then agency-wise, shop around. Don't join an agency. If an agency is happy for you to sign up as many agencies as possible, it's a bit suspicious. Why don't they want to monopolise you? Yeah. It's a bit like, okay. And then if someone wants to monopolise you, what kind of guarantee are they going to give you in return? Like, are you going to get a certain amount of shows and stuff? And then if they're going to let you sign a contract, like, well, if I'm going to sign a contract, I expect a minimum, whatever, I'll deliver this, these many releases and this much material, but you're going to get me this much work. We work on a thing called a 360 deal. 300, although actually it's a bit flaky, actually, sometimes we just get allowed to keep the money because it's not masses. But you get a 360 deal, which is a management get 10%, or whatever percentage you agree, but 10% is a good start. 10% of everything you earn, whether it's merchandise, whether it's sales, whether it's gigs, whether it's whatever, but they better be involved in it, all that aspect as well. They'll be running around 360 around you and helping out with everything at the same time, but they get 10% of 360 worth. Of your earnings. Yeah. And an agency takes about 15% of your gigs only, and a record label will take whatever deal you make with regards to sales. So that's a whole different ballgame. That's just long paperwork. That's another discussion. So the way you got to look at it, let's say you do a booking of say £500, you can lose 15% to your agency because that's their commission cuts. That's 75 quid gone, and then you lose another 10% from the management. So it's another 50 quid. So already you've lost £125 in 5 bookers. So you've got to be careful how you are working on commission base. But in theory, because on commission, they should be generating work anyway that you don't have anyway. So you're losing that out of that show.
But you're getting more.
But you're getting more overall. So that's the balance, and that's how they get paid. So I mean, when you're earning bucks and shit, like 10% or 15%, whatever your deal was in management and stuff, that can turn into some not insignificant money and shit. If let's say you're turning over £5,000 a week or whatever, and they get 10%, that's 500 quid. Like, you're fucking laughing. Like, it's not kicking the balls.
I'd quite like to ask you some specific questions about how I can kind of improve my situation, and also sort of artists maybe similar to me or similar to you who are much smaller and who are literally just getting started. So starting with that scenario, so take like a bedroom producer who's talented but literally just starting out, doesn't know anyone, doesn't have any connections. What would you suggest for someone like that, like how they could get things moving?
You've got to find a balance between releases and free downloads. Be friendly, don't be a dickhead. Have a gob, if you're gonna have a gob on you, be really careful. You don't piss off the right people. Never think you're the big guns. Don't be pulling your arrogant card. Be firm about what you need for like technical stuff and stuff like that. But love every fucker you meet. You never know who you're meeting and what windows of opportunity is going to open. If you can, if you've got the right mindset, put on nights, put on events in your home city, put them on your home city, use this opportunity to book acts you respect and you like, that do your style, you'll do whatever and stuff. Meet those fucking acts. Don't try and whore and chat music with them straight away as well. Get to know them personally on a personal level. Like, find out the hobbies there, find out about their life, talk about that. They don't want to hear the same fucking questions every time, and they don't want to get hustled with a mixtape every time. And then also use that use that night as a platform to get other gigs in other cities, because all these other different nights are usually run by different DJs as well. So you can get in touch with Sheffield, Newcastle, Cardiff, Brighton, fucking Newquay, bloody Northampton, Liverpool, wherever.
Yeah.
Swap sets with them. I'll come play your night, you come play my night. That gets you to another city and them to another city.
Yeah,
they
yeah.
want to play another city, you want to play another city, and do trades.
Yeah.
And that trades will get you out. So you can keep trading every month. You know, you swap, you've got a new city to play, so at the start of it, you're already playing nationally. So that makes sense. You don't have to wait to be out of the thingy.
That's a really good idea.
It was a huge thing for Dutty, because I was putting those club nights. It was a massive leg up. Both those points really helped.
And then obviously, secretly, this is all about me, like everything.
Yeah, of course it is.
So,
Fuck yeah.
what advice would you give me personally? Because obviously you're like reasonably familiar with my music, and we've chatted about like industry and stuff before. Like, what if you could choose one thing? What kind of tip would you give me in order to progress further with what I'm doing?
Focus more on heavier, dancier tracks. It's not all about a steady flow hip hop unless you're at a steady flowing hip hop night sort of thing.
Yeah.
If you're going to do different types of nights, and you need to have the repertoire, like I said about being able to do a support set or a headline set, you need to have the repertoire. But if you're going to do a 1 a.m. set, not everyone's got the attention span to handle heavy amounts of lyrics, which are great and all that sort of stuff. But you're going to need those dancier tracks to sort of, go dancier track, hip hop track, dancier, different things to build up to maybe finish on a D&B track. You need to be, like, I would say, create something that has your thing and the flexibility to cater for different times of the night and stuff like that.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And yeah, thank you for the.
No, mate. Well, I know you're killing it as well. Like, I think you've got a real winner of a thing, and like, the ideas in music videos and the idea of like, just the stylism you're coming up with and stuff. I think it's, this whole narrative musical thing. Like, mate, you got the winner. You want it. It's just refining the English dance floor.
Yeah. You mentioned earlier about the big band album that you guys are working on. Have you got like a release date for that?
At the moment, I'd like the Halloween. It looks like I'm going to have to delay by a month.
Okay.
So we're looking early winter sort of thing. It will be out this fucking year, I tell you that. Christ!
And where can people find you, like anyone who didn't know about Dutty Moonshine before this? Like,
Get the music?
Find you online. Like,
BitTorrent, Pirate Bay, I'm sure you can fucking download it somewhere.
Yeah.
Dutty Moonshine SoundCloud is the best place to current mix music, and the mixtapes on there. The mixtapes, there's always an annual one, and it always reflects the sound, the current sound sort of thing, so it's nice to see the progression.
Yeah.
Facebook's cool, just if you want to like the page, because numbers look great for promoters.
Yeah.
I'm on Twitter, but Twitter's usually used for more banter and having a laugh and fucking around and whatever.
And then lastly, any like shout outs or anything that you want to say, like it's going to go out to maybe a different crowd to the people who are used to seeing you guys normally?
Big up Offbeat, man. You're listening to my man, the Steezy, middle class MC. Oh, I type the raver. No.
That's it, we can stop there. That's what I was fishing for.
The shout outs, I don't know, just respect a lot of you, everyone who listens to music, everyone that fucking artists that I've jammed with. Howler's a massive cunt who thinks he's going to get his t-shirt back. Just whatever, just peace.
Cool. Alright, Sam, nice one. That's a wrap.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks very much, mate. Nice one, man.
Thank you.
Wicked. So there you go. That was the first episode of Talking Shop with Mike from Dutty Moonshine. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below what you liked, what you didn't like, apart from it being filmed in a noisy pub, what questions you'd like me to ask next time, and also who you'd like me to interview next as well. Leave me a comment, let me know, and I'll see what I can do. Like I said at the start of this video, this isn't the whole thing, this is just the highlights. So if you want to hear the full conversation, it's over an hour long and we go into all these topics in way more depth. And there's loads of other stuff as well that didn't end up in the video, so go check that out. It's iamoffbeat.com/talking shop. So if you've enjoyed this video, please make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, and also definitely check out the links to Dutty Moonshine in the description below. Check out their music, check out their videos, and go and show them some love. So thanks very much for watching, and I look forward to catching you guys soon. Cheers!